Okay, welcome everybody to the June 18th architecture meeting. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, hang on, let me go get the dog first. 1 second.
I would offer to hold my dog up to the screen, but I don't think I can lift either one of them from a seated position.
Are they big?
Um, they're both just a bit over 70 pounds.
Oh my.
Alrighty, so the dog's taken care of. Now you can hear her pant in Tracy's office. So I've been working on making some changes. Uh, so some of the things I have changed. This all evolves around the the onboarding and like a welcome page that I'm testing today. The changes are done. I gotta see if they actually look correct for like a welcome flow. But one of the things I have changed up is let me make this a little bigger for you guys. Um, on the organizational level, I've added my org's favorites and public. Um, so public, anybody can add public repos to be tracked, or they can be added through our Ortelius GitHub app to be tracked that way as well. Um, and the nice thing is, if you just look at the public repos, Um, I've added in the curl library is one of the ones that um, the vulnerability disclosure reporting guys like to look at. One of the guys is a big fan of how curl produces their vulnerability reports. So I actually added in to our scanner the ability to go through and scan a Git repo, determine if there's any C or C++ code, and if there is, we'll go ahead and run it's CDXGen is the name of the SBOM tool that's used for C, C++ code. Um, when we were at CDCon, there was a professor from NYU that was in charge of the SBOM project, but he's on sabbatical, and he said there's a better way to go ahead and grab SBOMs for C++ code. I looked at the code repos, but I couldn't find anything on how to run SBOM it and get more detailed information. So the SBOMs are a little weird for C, C++ code. You get some of the standard development packages, and then you get like these headers, the actual source code. So hopefully we can get a better SBOM from the SBOM folks being able to run that. If it's not a C or C++ repo, then we go ahead and look at running Trivy or Sift. I can't remember which one of those two, to go ahead and actually get the SBOM from that way. Also, we by default we do look if there's SBOMs already there. Um, so if you look at some of the history, we could see in the past uh, that they've had some additional um, low-hanging CVEs. And this is actually CVEs in the actual code itself. So one of the things that we originally were doing was we're getting CVEs for all the packages. So any packages that you brought in, we were getting CVEs. But I forgot that we needed to check for the application itself. So I added that capability in at that level. Um, because we're looking at the Git repo, if I go to my favorites, I've actually onboarded Jenkins. as one of the projects that we're going to look at. One of the things I'm going to add for the dashboard, that this dashboard, because they have all zeros, is because it's based on a deployment to an endpoint. I'm going to add in another tab in here somewhere. So if it's a release only type of deployment, so like Jenkins creates their WAR file, puts it out on their website for people to download. So I'm going to add in dashboarding for releases as well, because you can determine like a post-release CVE. So they've created the WAR file, they published it out there on their website, and then 3 days later, there's a vulnerability that shows up. So all these metrics will be available for releases as well. It's one of those gaps I realized when we started onboarding these projects that are release only projects, that we needed a dashboard at that level. If we actually go look at Jenkins itself, it currently has a medium CVE out there that showed up just the other day. So if we look at their history, the release candidate wasn't too good. It had 4 critical CVEs in it, and then it looks like they fixed it when they published. They got rid of the critical ones, but they had a couple more, and then they finally cleaned it up when they went to another bump version at that level. So the good news is we're able to start tracking the releases for the different types. So we're able to currently track right now um, any Docker releases, uh, also releases for like archives, artifacts like WAR files, Golang packages, those type of things. That gets sent out to the repos. So if we look at, I'll show you where it's coming from. Jenkins CI. So if you go to the Jenkins CI page, you can see that they have this is their latest release that they have out there. In the background, this release scanner runs, I think like every half hour or something like that, looking for new releases to be published. So what happens on the Jenkins side, we find that there's a latest release. We see that there's a WAR file, and we go and generate a SBOM automatically for that WAR file. I did look at doing a SBOM at the source code level, but it wasn't giving me all the version information that the WAR file does. So some of the package dependencies were found, but the version that was used wasn't there. So I had to tweak it up a little bit at that level. So that's all looking good. Some of the other things, oops, I wanted to zoom to get out of the way. At this level, at the release level, we're working with the folks from IBM, John and Zadia, about the SBOM uh, integrity or health. Is the SBOM complete? Are there missing license files? Are there missing supplier names? Are the pearls all mangled? That type of thing. Are there old components that are no longer maintained? There's like 6 additional tabs that we're going to be able to bring in. So I'm working with Zadia and John to change their code base from a single HTML page into an npm component, so they can maintain it in the IBM repo, and we consume the npm packages and render the stuff in our page here. So it's going to be very slick once we get those pieces plumbed together. It's some small stepping points. I have to get the new changes to the code base over to Zadia, get the build process to create the published npm, um, the packages and stuff, so we can consume on the Ortelius side. I'm trying to think what else is happening. Oh, if we look at my profile, I've updated the profile pages as well. So you can actually go ahead and add in uh, additional libraries that you may want to go ahead and add to my favorites. I can add in even like open OSF. So I can add in, I have to think of the lead, let's see, CNCF. So if I wanted to add in Kubernetes to start tracking Kubernetes, I can add that in at that level. So we'll be able to add any of these favorites, and when you add the favorite, we'll actually start in the background scanning those repos for deployments. I mean, for releases, and the next step is to look at um, the GitOps part and the deployment piece. So if we add a favorite for Kubernetes, Kubernetes really, or I'm trying to think of a better one. Uh, da, 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 da. I I think there, and that's what I'm looking for is like OSV Dev. OSV Dev is a website that has an API front end that we can interact with, trying to track how those deployments work through a GitOps process. So that would be an example where we would map that GitOps repo for that org to a deployment endpoint. So we'll have to prompt people for what their endpoint names are. But it's an easy workaround for now. Uh, and the best way, like I said the other day, is we go and grab the Kubernetes audit logs um, as part of the to get the best details. One of the things I need to look at is when folks do a deployment to a serverless environment. Like Google has a serverless, AWS has one as well. So when they deploy to a serverless environment, they're not really deploying to native Kubernetes. They're deploying to a hidden version of Kubernetes. And the same thing with Lambdas and Cloud Functions. Need to be able to track that. Oh, and the last one is websites that get deployed to Netlify, like the CNCF landscape or the CDF landscape gets deployed to Netlify, that type of thing. So there's a couple different deployment profiles that need to look at. But right now, I'm trying to just wrap up the onboarding process with the repos and stuff. So lots happening, but uh, making progress, put it that way. So with that, I'll just stop and take any questions.
It was very good to see that, Steve. Thank you.
Yep. And it's exciting that oh the one other things for the onboarding process, the Space Domain Awareness Group is asking for the sign-in. Right now, the sign-in is our internal user ID password, but they want to sign in using Google Workspaces. So basically, it's an ODIC connection to um, the Google authentication. So like just like with Zoom, you can authenticate through Google. I need to add that in for, I think the best ones are going to be uh, Google, GitHub, and probably GitLab are going to be the top three to start with. There's a couple others. There's one called Okta, which is like a SAML based front end for setting up apps that people get to use. It's more like your app dashboard. Um, Any other login providers that folks use? Can you think of any?
You looked at,
No.
what is it? You got login.gov and ID.me if you're doing government sort of stuff.
Oh, that's a good. I'll take a look to see what those provide. If we can integrate with those.
Yeah, because I know
Uh,
like when I go to the Veterans Administration, they want one of those, and
yeah,
Social Security wants it, those kind of people.
yes, it was login.gov, and what was the second one, Tony?
ID.me.
Oh yeah, that one. Yep, I've used that one before too. Yeah, the ID.me is I get nervous with that one because it's like upload your passport and
Oh yeah.
it's like they really want a lot of information about who you are to be registered on their platform.
Yeah, I don't love it, but you asked about ones that are out there.
Yep. The login.gov we use a lot because all the government websites we interact with use that one. So that's kind of where we're at.
Did you include Azure, Steve? Like Intro, which is just
Which
Active
one?
Directory. They just
Oh,
like
Active.
Microsoft's is
I have not looked at doing anything with Microsoft. I
okay.
gotta because your company that you're working with is on Azure, isn't it?
That's right, yeah. And all our single sign-on is Intro,
Okay.
which is just Active
Yeah,
Directory,
that's a
rebranded,
good
new
point,
name, same
Sasha.
same card, different name.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yes, yeah, Tony.
no, that's a very good point. There are a couple authenticators that are pretty widely used, being Microsoft and Google.
Yeah.
Google, yeah, that's a big one too. Yeah,
Yeah, Google's on the list. Google, GitHub, GitLab.
but
Um, and
you've
I'll,
got workspaces already. You said Google Workspaces, so that covers that, right?
yep, yep.
So I know that you're
Okay,
tired of
cool.
trying to figure out what's for.
Yeah.
I'll look at Microsoft and see what they are doing these days. Um, because
Yeah.
they have that whole on Microsoft, like domain
Hmm.
login thing. When we have to go and that's how it's so weird, Microsoft. I don't know why they just couldn't make it easy. You have to get a new, um, like on Microsoft email address that's like smashed together with
Yes.
your regular email
Yes.
address
Yeah,
just to
exactly. See, welcome.
yeah, just to go in and pay my Microsoft bill.
Exactly.
And then you can
Yeah,
still
no, it's a
log
bit
in
crazy.
with your regular email address, which is it's so confusing.
Exactly. It
It's
is
like I
very
have
confusing. I agree.
they can make things so difficult on the Microsoft side.
Yeah, I don't
So
know why they have
I'll put that
complicated
on the
it.
list, but I don't think it'll be high on the list since GitHub, GitLab will be the popular ones.
Yeah, yeah, that's no problem.
And I think the Microsoft one we may do instead of ODIC, I may look at a SAML route. Um,
Oh, some okay.
I gotta,
Yeah, because we use that for everything, right? For the
yeah,
cloud, for Azure DevOps, all of that is it's all intra.
yeah, yeah. So I gotta see which solution is going to work. Um, but like the good news is got the uh got the organizational filters and stuff like that um much cleaner. Um, so even though I belong to all these orgs, I can pick and choose if I just through my favorites which ones I want to look at. So this part I'm really happy with. So it's making a lot easier to go ahead and navigate the organizations. Oh, and one thing I'm going
I
to
love how
do,
you filtered it down. It's
yeah,
amazing.
when a person signs up, part of the plan is to give them um, some orgs, like it pre-populate my favorites with some of our existing repos or our existing orgs, so they don't come into an empty landing page. Um, and I'm looking for like four Linux or four what public services that we can track deployments for. So I think it was, I'd have to look at one of my chat bots, but I think I found like Prometheus. It was either Prometheus or Grafana have like a demo environment they go and deploy to every day, which may be a good one to track at that level as one of our demo orgs. The other one was there's a couple. Um, it wasn't there's oh Argo. Argo CD has a demo environment that they deploy Argo to every day as well. That's public. So there's a couple public websites that actually run like a Kubernetes environment behind the scenes. So if anybody knows of any repos, um, send them to me in Discord uh, so I can take a look and see how they're doing their deployments. So specifically be looking for a Kubernetes deployment to a public facing website or API endpoint. So I have to look at the OpenSSF scorecard. They deploy to Google Cloud Run. So that's the serverless environment. I have to look at OSV Dev where they deploy to, if they deploy to a Kubernetes environment or to a Lambda function or something like that. So there's a couple things I need to poke around with. But that's kind of like the goal. If there's a like a public API endpoint that's running under Kubernetes, that'd be great if we can hunt those down. Trying to think what other. That's like your homework is to find help find like 3 to 4 of those types of websites and repos.
Publicly published repos. Okay, like web applications.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
So like if somebody's using Argo CD or Flux to publish to a public website, their
Cool.
their Kubernetes environment.
I love how you were showing Jenkins there, and you could literally see they picked up these highs, and then you can see the next one, they nailed the high, and then now they've got the mediums left, and you can literally
Yep.
see them going through the process. Very nice. Very
Yeah.
nice for people to see that, right?
Yeah, and we'll be able to
Yeah.
do down the road we'll be able to do diffs. So we'll be able to diff 2 versions and see what actually changed between the 2 versions and that type of thing. So we're gathering the data and it's uh you know once you the data is the hard part, and once you have the data you get to do all the fun things with it.
Yeah, that's cool. It's like really well done, eh?
So that's where we're getting to. Um And if Arvin or Sasha, if you're interested in doing any coding, let me know. I'm getting to a point, probably by the end of this week, where things should be shaken down. So I'm not making these massive, drastic changes that if you want to dive in and do a little coding.
I'll definitely would like to.
Yeah, I would love to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will let me get this major welcome page sorted out, and then we can dive into what we need to do on the next steps.
So you feel like you're reaching that place where you've got like something on solid foundation now, right, Steve?
I th it's on solid foundation, but some of the navigation just wasn't intuitive enough. So,
Okay.
because I wrote it, I know how to use it. And then when other people look at
Yeah,
it,
fair enough. Yeah.
they get all confused, and that's what I'm trying to
My glasses
sort
will
out.
start steaming up.
Yeah, yeah. Trying to make it simple.
Yeah, no worries. That sounds good. Cool.
So getting there. And we'll always have um and part of it is the release scanner going out and trying to figure out how to, like GitOps. We're going to use a GitOps repo as a source of truth. Um, there's a whole process where you have to look at the current commit to the previous commit
Mm.
and see what changed. Was it a production deployment? They updated the image tag for production, or if it was uh, something that they updated a README and that didn't really apply to doing a release type of thing. So
Yeah,
there's different methodologies that we need to take for these different deployments.
awesome. Yeah, such great work, man. I can't wait to run it at my company Sandpit. I can't wait to run Ortelius there and plumb
Yeah,
it into Azure DevOps. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we need to. There is some Helm work that's needed for that on the front end load balancer
Okay.
side, with a little bit of
Okay.
Terraform type of thing. So um, we can.
Yeah, sadly, we have to use front door, so just to torture you more.
Yeah, I had
So
to
it's
see
front
how.
front door into Envoy.
Oh,
My
yeah,
current company uses front door.
yeah. That's
Although
the
it
hard
doesn't have
part.
to be exposed publicly, it can just be done internally, actually, because we all got VPN. So it can actually only needs to be published on Envoy. So actually, that saves you a lot of pain. Actually,
Okay.
yeah. So you don't have to worry about front door. Actually, just Envoy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I may need some help on that when I get back to that.
Maybe I can look. I can get a ticket. Maybe I can get a GitHub issue
Yeah,
and help and do some help, like carry some of the load for you with that and help you.
yeah, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Like I said, I'm trying to wrap up this stuff this week, early next week, and then I will then dive into specific things that we need to look at. And that will be one of them for Azure.
Cool.
I think we probably want to
Awesome.
go the
Thanks.
whole. I think we probably want to go the whole front door route, just so we have, if somebody wants to run it that way, that it's all the plumbing's in place. Even
Oh, I
though you may
see.
you may short circuit it just to the Envoy.
Yeah, so we just need the Envoy because then it'll go through the VPN, right? We just hit Envoy, whether
Yeah,
we can bypass.
as long as
Yeah.
and that's just gonna be flags when you do the deployment. Do I need to
Yeah,
stand
exactly.
up?
Like you did with Trafic and stuff.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Cool.
So I think the traffic implementation on Envoy should be pretty close.
There should be. I agree with you. I think it should be quite similar. Hey. Yeah,
The only
I
thing
would
that may
think.
be difference is the ingress class that's used instead
I
of
can go
the
find out for you from the guys that implemented it here, so it'll actually help you massively because all the code's right here in the repo, right? Yeah, so I can definitely help you with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is find out what their ingress looks like for Envoy.
Okay.
If they're
Okay,
using
cool.
so let me share my screen and show you where. I don't. Yeah, there it is. There's the ingress.
We have an internal load balancer too. So this is our front door private link service internal load balancer Envoy gateway.
Yeah. So we have the GLB, ALB, and kind, which is traffic. And what it ends up being, if you look at the traffic one, there's ALB, here's kind. So the ingress, this is where it usually comes into play. I think you'll have a spec that says ingress class name will be Envoy,
Mm.
and that's how it's going to map the paths coming into which the container.
Okay.
So this path goes to the back end, and then everything else goes to the front end microservice. So we're running the the front end and back end pods.
Okay.
So it's definitely going to be in the Ingress file. And this is where you look at the ALB, all the different stuff that you need to stand up for AWS ALB with managed certificates, all the annotations that you need. So this is where
Cool.
front
I'll
door
go and
would
have a
come
look for
into
that.
play. So front door will have a bunch of annotations like this, and it'll have its own
Okay.
Ingress class as well.
Okay.
So if you can hunt down the Ingress file and take a look at it, that's where it's going to come into play.
I will. I'll go and look for that.
Because the services are, the internal services are pretty basic. I'm going to expose these two ports. It's going to be a node port that the Ingress is going to talk to. So that's where
Okay.
the port mapping comes into play.
Cool.
And there is something weird depending on which one you're talking to. I think most of them are standardized now to node port. There's one I had to do a cluster IP, but I think I was able to work around that where it just does a node port now. But that's what's happening that we need to do on that front. Oh yeah, and here's like for Google, you have to using managed certificates, you have to have another managed certificate section and deploy a front end config. So there's a couple different things depending on what the cloud provider and how far you want to go with the load balancers. But like I said, let me wrap up what I got going with the code base now, and then early next week we'll get some issues out there and dive into what we need to do next on that front.
Cool. Looking good, eh? Looks really great.
Yeah. Any other questions? Alrighty.
No.
Thanks, everybody. Oh, Sasha, I may delete your user ID in
Oh,
Ortelius
no problem. You can go
and
for it. It's okay.
have you do a new sign up.
Totally cool, Steve. Totally
Okay.
cool.
So
Yeah, go for it.
once I get the sign up process done, I need a couple people to walk through it and see if it makes sense.
Yeah, no worries. And you guys have got a very nice team, eh? Soccer team in the USA, because the World Cup is being partly hosted by the US.
We haven't had a chance to follow it yet, so
Ah,
we just had our professional basketball and professional hockey
okay.
wrap up their big finals last week. So now
Okay.
we're sliding into being able to watch World Cup stuff.
Yeah,
Are
but
you
the US
watching?
got a nice team.
Yeah,
Of course, every night I've been watching.
Awesome.
the
US has got a nice team. Wow.
yeah the basketball, the NBA players for New York just had their victory parade in New York,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they had over 1 million people show up for the parade.
Whoa, 1 million people. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, goes on and on for blocks in downtown New
Yeah, I can
York.
imagine. You
Yeah,
ain't getting out of that traffic.
No, and the parade started like at 9 o'clock. And
Well,
people were showing up at like 5:30 to get a good spot to
the
see him.
spot. Whoa,
So
that's amazing.
so we've been a little
It's a whole
distracted
other
here.
level.
Yep.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, cool,
Alrighty. Thanks everybody.
cool. Cheers.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheers.